It's Lee Hogan here from VIP Boxing. Just come down to chat with AJ, Barry and Frank. If you'd like to introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Frank Duffy and I'm the manager CEO of ECCA Pro Boxing.
I'm Barry Higgenson, I'm head coach.
Hi, I'm AJ Faizey and I'm one of the boxers.
Yep. Right, so I've got to apologise, I believe, because we did a post-fight interview with you after your last fight, which you won in the first round, and I messed up. So I'm here to redeem myself, and we'll chat about it now. So how did you feel it went, AJ?
It was alright, and I don't blame you for what happened on Saturday night, because everyone was so excited and probably forgot what to do.
Well, I was trying to get you around there. You were celebrating a bit too much, and
Yeah.
the noise was so loud in there. By the time we got you over there, I couldn't hear anything, and neither could anyone else. So I do apologise, but a fantastic win there for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. My friends and my fans told me that people were falling asleep because there was no excitement just before my fight. They were really excited about the fight, and that's what they got. Well, it was a great fight.
Is your nickname The Dream?
Yeah, that's the dream.
I think you were more like his nightmare on that night.
It was for the other guy, yeah.
I watched it, I really enjoyed it. I mean, I thought he was developing to a good fight. He put up a good show for the first minute and a half, and then your power started landing, and I was saying before, you caught him with a left hook, and his eye just started swelling up almost instantly, and then from that moment onwards, you know, for the next minute, you were pummeling him.
Yeah, as soon as I got him with that left hook, I saw a cut under his right eye, and his eyes started swelling, so I knew I had the power to take him out. I was just waiting for the right punch, and I think he got me with a body shot, and he got a bit of confidence, so he just walked into my shot. He was just very confident.
Yeah, you know, he came there to fight, but
yeah.
He put up a good show, but like you say, I think the referee was right. I think there was only, did you say a second to go with the round?
Yeah, the referee stopped at 2 minutes 59 seconds of the round one, and I think he should have stopped it a bit earlier, but because he was a home fighter, they were just trying to give him a chance to get a 1 minute rest, but I got him with the last right punch. He was just out. He was just lying on the ropes, otherwise he would have been knocked out.
Yeah, no, I'd like to say, I think it was the right decision there. There's no two ways about it. If you wouldn't have got him, if you wouldn't have stopped it then, I think you would have stopped him in the second round.
Yeah, I don't think he would have recovered from them punches
no.
in 1 minute. There was no chance.
And that was your second pro fight?
Yeah, that was my second pro fight. Yeah.
And how many amateur fights have you had now, prior to that?
How many amateur fights? I think I had 7 or 8.
Oh, so again, not really a great experience there.
No.
You thought like you had looked like a lot more experience than you actually have then?
No, I've been sparring top professional lads, but amateur fights I've only had 8. In them 8 fights I had it in like 4 or 5 weeks, and I had break before about 2.5 years before turning professional.
Yeah?
Yeah, so no, I didn't have any good amateur career.
Well, can we chat a little bit about, because I was reading an article on you, and I won't be videoing that. I was reading a little article on you, and you were actually a refugee from Afghanistan, is that correct?
Yeah, I've come here when I was 14, and I've claimed asylum when I was a kid, and I was in foster care for about 2.5 years until I turned 18, and when I turned 18, the foster care didn't get the money that they were supposed to get, so they just one night, Saturday night, and they told me to leave because they weren't getting paid. And since then I've rang Baz, and he come and picked me and my clothes, and I've lived with him since then.
So, that's a real rocky story then, really?
Yeah, kind of.
You, what was Rocky's coach called now? Mickey.
Mickey.
Mickey there. So, and what's your take on this then, Barry? How did it work out with you?
Well, I first got to know AJ when he got in foster care. His foster parents, they came to the gym and they said, look, we've got a young lad, he's 14, from Afghanistan, he can't speak English. They said, but we think he wants to box. So I said, right, I said, fine, no worries. I said, just bring him down. So I said, bring him down tomorrow night. I said, we start at 7. I said, and we can have a talk while you're there and you can translate what I'm saying, there, and this, that and other. Anyway, it never came about. They didn't come at 7 o'clock. And about 20 past 8, just as we were getting ready to clean up and pack up, AJ walks through the door. Couldn't speak very much English, broken English, and he just walked in and I just, can I help you, lad? And he said, yes, he said, you want to fight? And I just looked at him like, I was like, what? He said, do you want to fight? I said, are you the lad that wants to box? And he goes, yes, fight. And I said, you want to fight? I said, what, you want to fight me? He goes, I fight you. I went, no. I said, you don't want to fight me. I says, do you want to fight? And he went, yes, fight you. And it took me about 10 minutes to get it sussed out. And I think the fact was we did have one of the Asian lads, his dad was in, so he translated some of it to AJ. So then I knew that this was the lad. You know, I was just assuming. So I said, look, I says, has your foster father come down with you? He says, no, he's not come, he just told me where it was. So he'd been walking around for nearly an hour and a half trying to find this place. So I said, right, in the gym tomorrow, I said, and we'll start. And I just knew from that day, the first day of training, he just picked it up quickly. He was very, very, very strong. He'd no fear. He had all the ingredients to where you need to get to that top level. Yeah. The only thing that he didn't have was the boxing. He couldn't box for peanuts. And we started teaching him the basics. We started getting him the fights, and away he went. He stormed basically the amateurs. I think he only lost one fight, and that was a draw, and he lost it on the count back. And I think that kid went and won on the ABAs. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the lad he was in the last fight where he stopped him in the first round. He had quite a good amateur career, didn't he? And he'd had, I think that was his 8th fight when he was fighting then in your, second fight. So he's got a hell of a lot more experience than you, and you wouldn't have known that watching the fight. You know what I mean? I would have thought, if anything, you looked more natural in there than the other kid did.
Yeah, I've always, Baz has always told me that I don't box like an amateur. No. I always box like pro. Since I've started boxing, I've always sparred a lot better lads than me. Yeah. They were all above me, so...
It's still a way to learn though, isn't it?
Yeah, I learned quite fast, even professional. Before my first fight, I sparred Tommy Coyle. Yeah. And I sparred the other lad called Tommy from Tall or something like that. Yeah.
Femi from Tall.
I've always sparred the guys that were better than me.
Femi's been around a long time, hasn't he?
Yeah. Very skillful lad.
Yeah. So I've always sparred the guys that are above me, not below me. I'm learning quickly.
Yeah. Well, boxing, one of those games you have to learn quickly.
Yeah. Otherwise you'll get hurt.
Yeah. And he seems to be going the right way. Now, when do you think you're going to be out next?
I don't know yet. Hopefully end of April, beginning of May. It's all up to Frank and Baz. Yeah. Really, yeah. I'll see who they want me to fight.
Frank, we've not really spoke to you there then.
Oh, yeah.
Started all nice and quiet.
Yeah, just listening, taking it all in.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, how are you? Obviously we see you at the shows there. It must be nice. You've had, what was it? 5 pro fights?
5 pro fights.
5 stoppages.
Yeah, 5 knockouts basically, yeah.
It's going to start developing a reputation.
We are. I think that's what we're heading that way, definitely. Obviously with AJ and the light welterweight, and Adam Heatseeker Mahai, the up and coming heavyweight. Yeah. Obviously I got involved with the gym just by working out here, doing a bit of boxing, then decided to, me and Baz decided to form Heatseeker Pro Boxing, and obviously take on AJ and Adam. We've obviously been funding them as fighters 18 months previously to turning pro, so they've actually been training, learning to box for 18 months prior to turning pro, and obviously they've been 2 fully funded fighters, because there's no way they could have got to the level they are now by working. They've had to be funded to get to the level they are now. So, you know, I was happy to do that because boxing's always been my passion. It is now turned into a business and a passion. And obviously we are looking at taking 2 or 3 more fighters on.
Well, you don't get into boxing as a business, for a business. You get in it because you love it, because obviously it's hard sport in everyone's managers, trainers, fighters, you know, there's not a lot of money out there.
No.
And but when you have power, and your 2 lads both seem to have it, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, so, you know, AJ's got phenomenal power for a light welterweight, and Adam, you know, we've never really seen his power yet in any of the shows that, through VIP. We've seen his power, and we know for a fact he's got world level power, and he's never actually shown. I don't even think he's shown possibly 50% of his power in any of the fights you've seen at the moment.
Well, we're going to have a chat with him later, so we can explain. I think I upset him when I said he was a little bit stiff, but I didn't mean that in a bad way, because he's got big power. And as I was saying, you know, we was talking Anthony Joshua, you know, when he first had his first pro fight, again he was a little bit rigid, a little bit stiff, and now he's into his 4th and 5th fight, he's relaxing a little bit, and when that happens with him, I think you're going to see something special there. I
mean, we've been sparring with China Clark, the cruiserweight, last week, and he was very much up with him for speed. We're actually going, after this interview, we're going this afternoon to spar with China Clark at Leeds, because we want him just to get on his toes a bit more, try and get him faster than he already is. It seems to be working.
I think what it is as well, Leo, at the time, I mean, they're all novices, these 2 lads. And the thing is, they are powerful, but believe me, there's a lot more power to come from them because they don't really know how to transmit it properly yet. They're just throwing it at 50. You know, there's another 80% we can add on just through technique. So once they've learnt that and they can get into that and that shot's on and they see that shot, you know, it's devastating.
Once you're relaxed in there, it's a bit like everything happens in there in slow motion. You know, it might look like it's a million miles an hour to the outside, but once you're in there and you're relaxed and you're confident, then you see those opportunities and you can pick them. You can actually choose where you want to land it. I don't know if you watched the fight with Tommy Coyle and that Daniel Besquela. You know, it was a great fight, but just when he picked those body shots in the 6th round, he caught him in the body with a left hook, wasn't it? And then picked it again 30 seconds later. And how Tommy got up from that, I don't know. I mean, you got to take your hat off into him, and especially to finish the round stronger. But you know, like you say, those opportunities seem to happen when you're relaxed and you feel confident in there. And like I say, the only way you get that is by having plenty of fights and lots of good sparring.
Yeah, it's right what you say. I mean, with Tommy Coyle, what you said there, you know, what got him that? He wanted that fight. He wanted it. And these lads want it. Do you know what I mean? They want it. But they haven't got the experience as the likes of Coyle and the others. Because they are all novices. But they're learning so quickly. So the only way we can help them is the fact that we can try and get them quality sparring so they can learn so much from that. And as you know, in the boxing game now, the boxers, you look at footballers, they be on megabucks. You know, boxers don't get treated like professional athletes, let's be honest, they don't. You know, and we felt that if we could get the right boxers, then maybe we can just give them a little bit of that. Just a little bit. I think we're like, they've got a t-shirt, they're not worrying about paying for the shorts, they're not worrying about going for the medicals. But we want the right lads. And that's the key, because there's just no point in me and Frank wasting the time with people that don't want it. You know, you can bring lads into here that can't box, but if they have got what these 2 lads have got, that can be taught.
As we was talking about before, I think the bond that you have with your fighters, because you've only got the 2 fighters, it's a really, really strong bond. And I do think that is like an extra man. You know, you feel like, you know, like we were saying, Man United when we had Alex Ferguson. You know, they felt like they were playing 12 men rather than 11. When you know your fighter, and your fighter knows you and trusts you, when you go back to your corner, you can see perhaps something that you're working on isn't working. You say, well, we'll try this or we'll try that, and you know, he knows what you're talking about. You can go out there and do it. I remember talking to Mike Stafford, and he was saying, you know, he's working with Carl Ince, and they have a thing where they shout out boxers, names of fighters. You know, Mike Tyson used to use numbers as a combination, so he didn't give away you know, if you shout out left hook, not only does it your fighter know to throw a left hook, but your opponent does. And so they used to use a number system where you shout out 1, 4, 5, and those would represent things they've worked on in the gym. Well, he was saying he shouts out, you know, like Duran or Marciano or things like. If you, I don't know if you've seen Mike Stafford, but he's a very old school like type. If you imagine watching him in black and white, you'd think you were back in the 50s. But yeah, you know, it's like you say, if you can trust your man in the corner, which obviously seems like you know you have that bond now. It really makes the fighter progress quicker. Yeah,
definitely, without a doubt. You know, I mean, it's like you said, the old boys, they know what to score. I mean, look at Hughes, Brian Hughes, to me a top trainer. Brendan Ingle, top trainer, you know. And them are the people that I respect, you know, because they have had the kids right from the start, you know.
Well, I think, right, Frank, what was you going to say to me before?
Yeah, I'd just like to say that AJ had his first fight in October on Steve Woods. Obviously, Steve Woods, the manager's promoter. He did very well. He knocked out a guy called Rainbird, who was a very tough opponent. But if you look at that fight, then look at his second fight. You know, he's had a lot of grounding and a lot of boxing training since then, and it looked a completely different fighter on the night. And what I would like to thank is obviously Jason Nesbitt for not being able to actually come to fight.
He's just on the last fight, isn't he?
Yeah, on
the Hogan show.
We were supposed to be fighting Jason Nesbitt, and obviously he's a very experienced journeyman.
Yeah.
I'd just like to thank him for not being able to make the fight, because it allowed AJ to fight a far better ranked fighter.
Yeah.
Obviously AJ was ranked 74th coming up to that fight, and on the Monday we from BoxRec heard that he was number 19th on the rankings. That showed you how much they rated that fight and in the manner in which he actually beat his opponent. And I would like to also add that I think that there have been 2 or 3 on the top 10 would have struggled that night with AJ, looking on that performance.
Yeah.
I definitely think that, and I think Baz would agree, there would be 3 or 4 in that top 10 would have struggled that night with AJ on that first round. He's
certainly looking like he's growing in confidence. I think your first fight, obviously you've got the nerves because it is your first fight, and I know you had a lot of messing around because you thought you was on first and then you wasn't on first, and then you were supposed to be on second and then you wasn't. So I know all that played against it a little bit. Well, and on your first bout, obviously that does, you know, make a lot of difference.
Yeah, AJ is one of the fighters. He really needs a good warm up, at least at half an hour to 45 minutes before fighting. But I would also like to add that Baz has really worked miracles with him since October. We've had him in the ring. We've got his footwork better, his balance, his speed, his power, and just overall boxing. And there's a lot more to come with him. You know, so I'm very excited, and I'm sure we can get him onto big things.
Yeah, well, definitely he's at the right age, and he seems to be eager to get in there with everyone.
Anyone?
Yeah, definitely. I've seen you looking at everyone here thinking, I can take him. Right, okay, well, lovely lads, thanks, and we'll try and get this out on VIP Boxing Channel as soon as possible.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.